hello. Still having the problem with the camera. All right, welcome. Glad you are all here. Hope everyone had a good trading day. By the way, I have the holiday schedule up for the CME because we follow the, especially the mini futures contracts. Tomorrow, everything's regular. You can see that. Everything's regular. Friday, everything's closed. I will not be doing a market overview video tomorrow. All right, I will leave it for Sunday so we can all prepare for the final week of trading for the year. We'll be doing it Sunday, Boxing Day. So if you can join me take some time out Sunday afternoon, day after Christmas, to help us prepare for next week, it would be great. Everything's pretty much back to normal on Sunday. You can see here, except lumber and livestock. So if you're following lumber and livestock, just know it's still closed. But everything else, the equities, the Bitcoin futures, interest rates, foreign exchange, energy metals, stuff we sometimes touch on in here, everything's a regular open at 5 p.m. Central Time on Sunday. And everything's pretty much normal on Monday. So Sunday night just rolls into Monday. So by Monday, everything's back to normal. Just wanted to cover that with you. By the way, if you ever want that information, the CME does put this out they put out the holiday schedules in these really nice formats. So you can just go to CMEgroup.com, and they always have their holiday schedules, and they do them for all different holidays. So you can download this, and this is the mini version. They have a big version, a mini version. I'd recommend, unless you're trading a lot of stuff around the world, just get the mini version. You can download it. So just wanted to cover that. By the way, if you're new here, please do consider subscribing, ringing the bell, and clicking the like button. So, who is here today? Oh no, William. William, if you were the moderator, all I'd see would be Boeing comments. Okay? That's all I'd see. Kalani. So you're already going on the Tesla bandwagon. By the way, Tesla will be earlier tomorrow. I will probably be doing it around 3:30 Central. So remember that instead of market overview, if you want the Tesla thing, because we'll still do the wrap up tomorrow, because nothing will change between tomorrow and Sunday. So we'll do one tomorrow. Friday, there'll be no live streams unless something happens in the crypto markets. There'll be nothing I'm doing Friday. I'm going to take the day off, but I will be watching cryptos. And we don't do a lot of FX anymore, but if something major happened, I would put out a quick video on that. Saturday, of course, I'm taking off. I've done videos in the past few years, but I'm taking this year off. I'm really tired. Wavy wants to skip straight to Tesla. I got some thoughts on Tesla. Let's see. Wavy, yep, still no close over 4,700. Well, we'll take a look at the S&P in a minute. Thank you for being here, Josh. Just for this week, okay. I'm just focused on the reopening trade at the moment. So we don't have to cover it every day. Some days things don't change, William. Some days things just don't change. Because I already gave you the game plan. You can watch for the gap fill continuing. You got a nice close up around the rotation zone. So thank you, Wavy. I'm going to be here, and if anything does happen, like there's breaking worldwide news or something, I'll put up a thing on the community page and like announcing that I will do a special live stream. So that's why it's important to subscribe. So also check there. Like if you hear breaking news that you think could affect the market, and if it really is going to affect the market majorly, I will do either a pre-recorded or a live stream. That's just not for right now, but that's just in general. All right. I know I need somebody to manage my social media. I need a social media manager. It's just, I'm busy enough. I'm busy. It's exhausting. It literally is. It takes some time and effort to do everything, to do all the trading stuff, to rebuild a course, to post occasional things in Discord, to trade and monitor all these markets, to run a portfolio. It takes a lot of time. So let's see, S&P today. Look at that. Even just looking at this, look at this. Look at the levels we come up with. Look, look at the low here. What's the low? 46.22.25. I had 46.21.75 right there. And remember, we're not trying to call anything. And then we went up through here. And remember, we had the cluster up here. And you talked about key levels. Well, we closed above the 62.5 at this point. So now I'm watching, especially tomorrow, to see if we get that close above my. I'd love to see a close above 47.05 tomorrow, because there should be thin market trading tomorrow. Everything closed on Thursday. So that is an area I am watching for tomorrow. Uh, let's take a look at the shorter term chart. So, rotating up, we stayed pretty much in bullish mode. You see how well this bullish mode line held? Look at this. Look at that bullish line. Tomorrow is easy. Bullish mode above about 46.78 area. Let's raise these levels to here. I was just waiting to do that for the live stream, so this will help fine tune that. Let's take a look at the bigger picture now. So on a pullback area, let's see, pullback areas. I'd just be watching about this 46.60 to 46.62 again would be a bigger pullback. First minor pullback, I'm watching about 46.75. 46.77.75, this little prior resistance becoming support. Key volume area right there, and the rising 1 hour rotation zone. Keep an eye on that. Bigger pullback levels, if we drop below that, we're back pretty much down to about 46.50 area, 46.46 to 46.50. Then below that, I'd be back at the 50% harmonic, 46.32 area with the rising 4 hour rotation zone. And you don't want to see that level wiped out, especially you're getting the first crosses back in bullish mode on the daily. 46.46 will be very key on the daily. But if you don't broke below 46.31, it would be a retest of today's low, but that would wipe out this whole bar and take it back to neutral mode. So you don't really want to see that for the bull case. Let's see. Jake says Discord live streams plus life. Mike is I am a busy man. You're very welcome, Jake. I'm just trying to put in as much time and effort for everybody and help them. I hope it's been helping. I hope you've actually learned something and been able to apply some of this stuff, because that's my end goal. If I'm not just here to provide content for, YouTube keeps limiting the stuff. And the only way I really get any money now is if you guys do donations. But that's not even what I'm counting on. I'm just doing it because I'd like people to learn how to at least trade better or invest better. To the upside, 4,700, 46.98, 4,700. That's what I'm focusing on. You can watch this 47. I'm going to leave that 47.05 on there because we're watching it for the key close. But then above there, majors about 47.18, 47.15 to 47.18. I'm pulling off this 47.23 level because if we get above there, then I'm just targeting upwards to about 47.33 to 47.42. So if you had a really strong rally day, but I'll be focused on, once we get through this 47.05, I'm really focused on this 47.15 to 47.18 area, and then 47.05 to make sure it doesn't drop below that on the close. And we shall see. It's still got a fair way to go, but we'll really see what happens tomorrow with your 4,800 level. And I think we still have, look at the cluster there. Look at the cluster, 4801, 4800, right there with the harmonics. There you go. There you go, Wavy. Harmonics called it. Should I give credit to you or the harmonics, Wavy? NASDAQ again, bullish key little area, then rotating up. We'll look at the short-term charts and closing just above our cluster 61, 69 area. So, I mean, if you can't use these levels to help you with your trading, then maybe you should stop trading. I mean, these are fantastic. So I'm just going to update this from now reverse harmonics to the forward harmonics. Again, this is from the low back from December 20th to this pausing area. So that gives us some areas we'll watch for. Let's keep my bullish line in the sand now. Tomorrow is 16,127 area, 16,128. If it continues on the march higher, 16,221 minor, I'll really be watching the 16,303. You got this little tiny pausing bar. Remember, we're into this advanced or into this clear path move, and you know there's not many stopping points. So that's where these harmonics come really well into play to help for areas to move up stops. But then the full target on this is right up to about 16,434. So keep that in mind. See how they're, this is another great concept to watch for. When you have these areas without rotations, you can look behind it, but look even how little rotations are behind it. So this is where you can really get into an area that it's like a vacuum. It was created by this major selling pressure, but now it's a vacuum on the way up. So keep that in mind. Got to give it to harmonics. I changed my trading entirely this year. Great. It's just in that I found it's part of the rhythm of things. When things are moving naturally, when they don't work is when you get really forced moves, like you get intervention moves and everything else, because that just blows through everything. But when things are naturally going with the sort of the rhythm of nature and the rhythm of people, that's just the natural stopping points. You know, and I don't know if there's probably people who've adopted. I've been using this and putting it out there for years, and I know I've talked to people who've programmed it and used it in their systems. But it's still a natural rhythm. It's just like if you're into Fibonacci or the harmonics, there's somewhat of a natural rhythm that it's not going to be overruled. Really, I mean, I guess if a lot of people used it, it changed slightly, but and a lot of people don't even want to spend the time to learn most stuff. So, and a lot of institutions, their trading is actually very, very simple. So, unless you're getting into the pure algo, the complex HFT algo, that gets complex. But a lot of the other, even some of the longer term automated strategies are really rather simple. Really simple. Surprisingly simple. So we have 16,221, 16,303. Well, sorry, I jumped a little head there. I'd be watching on the pullback. My bullish line in the sand is 16,128 below there. Yes, really the support zone is the 1 hour rotation zone up to 16,128. We get below that. I'm jumping back to the 4 hour and looking at this the top of the 4 hour rotation zone is coming in about 16,000, and right below that, 15,981. We have this little area. I'll bump this line up here since it's, remember, more recent price action takes precedence over. You still look back to look for areas of significance, but the most recent price action it is more significant. And if we drop down below 15,978, I'm actually coming up right around about 15,900. This little dip down, we can even go slightly above there, about 15,912, right in there. Those are my key levels. To the downside, I would be shocked if we didn't at least get some rally on tomorrow to 16,303. 16,303. Oh, I pulled off my other prior. Hold on, let me update a couple things here. Just want to see. So look at that. I had my other retracement harmonics off, but we have 16,289 to 16,303. That's a major target. That's a 62.5, and you definitely want to see a close for the bullish case above that 16,289 area tomorrow. So that would be my first major target on any rally. Let's take a look at the Dow. Again, 35,303 holding nicely on that little dip, but pretty much staying in bullish mode, at least all since the open. Europe stalled out just around that bullish mode, but then it just took out. You see our pause at this 35,590, 36,000 area. Coming back, that enabled you to do a couple things. Raise your harmonics to right here. And remember, for shorter term stuff, I'm not going to do them here, but you can. We're using the swing that started this move up, and you can also do it on the most recent swing. So those are the two swings you're going to want to focus on for harmonics. A lot of times I don't do the shorter swings here because it's just the levels are we don't do that detailed an analysis on this. Let's see, bullish line in the sand for me tomorrow, coming in right about 35,600. 35,600. On a pullback, I'm now dropping this level down 35,412, 35,400 to 35,412. Below that, we're sticking with about 35,303. If we drop below that, you really don't want to see it, but we'd be back to 35,100. Just see where that sits on the daily. You don't really want to see a move below 35,303 tomorrow. That would wipe out today's up move, and then that would not be very bullish going into next week. Upside 35,749 area right here. You can bump this up right there. It's pretty much that same area. Let's just see. Yeah, it's close enough. And then 35,882, and then 36,000, then 36,100, then above 36,100. Now this is where I just want to check the reverse harmonics here. And see where this sits. 36,300, right around there, just based off there. We already have this area significance. So those are all the upside and downside targets to the Dow. All right, we've touched on Russell a couple times. I just want to look at it again because it barely closed above the rotation zone, but this is still acting weak. Your next key levels on the Russell are about 2250. And then the double still in place at 2279, 2280. What else do we want to look at? Yeah, we got some bots. I'm just looking at the chat summary. If you're looking at the real thing, I just get my eCam chat summary sort of. Let's see over here. Just checking out. Okay, nothing over there either. All right, so that's the Russell. Now, what else do we want to look at? Hey, Dan Jet, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thoughts on Baba? Thoughts on Baba? No, I don't have anything new on Baba. I'd just be watching. It's just in this. I mean, some people call this a triangle pattern. Uh, I'd really be watching this upwards of about. Let me clear up some of these levels. Shows. Just from these key areas, I'd be watching up around this 126.50 with the top of the declining rotation zone. We start getting above there, but you still have the weekly rotation zone just above it. So that would be a very aggressive play. So let me see. Yeah, that's technically qualifies as a horribly sloppy double bottom. Horribly sloppy. Did I say horribly strong enough? I don't even know if I trade it that way because of it looks like a complete mess. The only interesting thing is you have this you don't have much resistance above here. I'm just looking at the different conservative and aggressive. I'd have to stick with the conservative. But you start getting above the rotation zone. Let's check back in on the weekly. See, this is so challenging. This would be a stop. If I was going to trade this, I'd keep a real tight stop with this. really tight. And I'd probably just wait for this sloppy double to trigger 129.45. Other than that, because yeah, the only good thing you have is this move, and if it can get a move on above that, you have a gap fill. But the negative is it's really got to get out of the rotation zone. Now, if it moves up, this weekly drops, and you get a close above both of them, I'd be a little more bullish on it. It looks a little better even on the weekly. You can see that little rotation in there. So that's the only thing uh, that's going on with that. Amazon, yeah, I was noticing that. Remember, we have the significance level at this 34.47 area, 34.50, and it's running up there. You're still watching to see if you can get a move on over there. By the way, this double is now invalidated. I have to update that because we now have 1, 2, 3. So all it means is you can't use those targets. Again, this is still key daily rotation zone. So the only way I can get more bullish on this is if it gets above this 34.50 area, but it's definitely lagging. It's struggling on the move, and the Nasdaq's really started to get some life into it again. But Amazon couldn't do anything. Amazon, nothing going on there. There's better things to watch for. Facebook again. Nothing's changed. I'd still be watching a break below this about 324, 670 area on a closing basis. Then I'd be in bearish mode, retesting down here towards this 308 area. Above this 335, 336 area. The only challenge is you have this pretty strong trend line in here. So above there, you'd have to then target the trend line, which comes in around 340. Depending on when it gets there, 341, and definitely move up stops in case it just rolls over and reaffirms the trend line. The only case is still above this defining point on the 16th of December, which the high 344.46. You start getting above there, then that would put me in much more bullish mode. I can. I can. I can check ASAN, Asana. So here we go. We got the double there, and it would trigger, especially I'd watch for a close not just above this 83.25, but above the rotation zone, and that could be a nice little move up. Let's check that weekly. See, you got the first cross, so definitely see where that stop reduction target is. Let's go back to that daily. That's definitely area to aggressively move up a stop. So you get the close above this 83.25 and the daily rotation zone, 93.99. I might even bump that down to about 93.95. I hate that 99 area just because so many people put things at 99s and zeros. I'd bump that down to about 93.95 just so if you get a reaction, you've already moved up your stop. Then you have 99.37 and 104.74. And it's going into this really nice advanced clear path move right here. And the second target, look at that, with this prior support becoming resistance. So that could be a nice little upside potential trade. And you made a lower low. It looks like, is that a lower low? 61.76, 61.48. Yeah, and you had a divergence down there. And let's see. And this was technically a percent B buy right here. So then this was what I talk about. Coming up here, you're still against the rotation zone, but you got a percent B buy. Your stop would have to be below this low, but then it could be rolled into, you could take some off on this up move, and then if it triggers, just put that back on. So let's say you put on 100 shares down here, never got stopped out. You're coming up to this area right up around in here, this 80, 50. You take off 50 of the shares. Let's then say it re-triggers. Then you can put back on that 50, you have your full 100 back on for the run up. And if it rolls back over, you can keep a stop here, like below a key little support shelf, or you could use your harmonics here. you know, like the 50% level or even the 62.5, and do a trailing stop below that for your remaining 50 in case it does not trigger the double. Just a little teaching right there. Try to help out. Peloton. That almost looks, so I would not trade that as a double. Hi, Amit. Did I say that right? Amit? Or is A? Just let me know how to pronounce your name. You know you're in here, and I'm really bad with names, so I apologize in advance for mispronunciations. But for the regulars, I don't want to pronounce your name wrong. It looks like it's running out of steam, and it's definitely consolidating with. I would not trade this as a double because of all these little chops in here, and it's almost like a triple. I'd have to measure it out, but it looks like it's starting to build a really nice support base. I keep an eye on it on the weekly basis. You get a close above on a weekly basis above the weekly rotation zone. All right, I got a not bad. So just put it in there phonetically so I know how to say it. I'll take a not bad. I'll take a C. Uh, Watch this area. This 48. I'd almost say 49. Let's see, 49 area. Yeah, right around here on a weekly basis. You get a close above there on a weekly basis. It would be an interesting entry. Again, on a weekly basis, if you wanted an aggressive thing, it looks like it could be putting in a percent buy. If next week you close above this week's high, then it could be a potential percent B to front run it up to the weekly rotation zone. You get to close above the weekly rotation zone. Then you're into this clear path move, and you don't have anything till the upper end of the weekly rotation zone. So that could be a really nice play. I'd wait for some confirmation though on the weekly. Lucid. Oh, not based off what Tesla did today. I mean, Tesla was up 6%. What was Lucid up? I mean, it's technically down even from yesterday. So it was up from the open, but down from yesterday. Lucid's just looking like it's making a consolidation pattern, uh, trying to figure out its next move. I'm just seeing. I mean, bullish. I mean, a little pop now above the high. This high of 40.19. That would take it above the 4-hour rotation zone. Above the 4-hour rotation zone, and that would be into the daily rotation zone. That could be a little quick play to test this 42 area, and then if it closes above 42, especially if it closes above this high of 42.50, then I'd roll it into a much longer position. That's the only thing, and then the stops that you have to keep with tomorrow would have to be a tight stop because you don't want it to come up to the daily rotation zone and just rotate back down. But this is trying to figure out where to go next. And if it gets below this 35.80, I'd be keying off these downside levels and I'd watch for a bigger pullback. I am not terribly bullish right now on Lucid. I think there's better things to trade. Can NASDAQ go to 16,400 tomorrow? Tomorrow? 16.4. Yeah, I could easily go to 16.4 tomorrow on a strong rally. We could. It could. That would be about the upper end of what I'd expect tomorrow, but it could do it. So there's your question. That's where I'd make probably my top targets for the day. But I need to see some decent momentum coming out of the morning. Bitcoin seems to be sitting on a horizontal channel. Yeah, that's pretty much a you had a declining or sort of a declining pattern still sitting. I mean, you guys are sitting at the top of that daily rotation zone, but geez, I'd still be watching this 50,625 level. You get a close above there on a daily. It'd be nice, like a nice little potential trade to about 52,800 and then 53,703. But that's going to slam into some major support. This has really lost its gas right now. It's still like in no man's land, and longer term, with this breakdown, I'm still not in anything bullish mode. It really has to prove itself right now. And it isn't doing, it looks like to this week, unless we get a strong rally, it could be an inside week. It's more sit on hands with at this point with, and Ethereum still, it triggered this massive double top, but it's just not been doing anything. So the cryptos are sort of like run out of gas at the moment. We need something to really ignite them. Can I explain on a clear path? A clear path it's a series of candles, generally the same color. There's advanced and regular, where there's no stopping areas. So if you're trading back into it, there are no stopping areas. So using this Bitcoin chart, here's an example of a clear path. So you see this area right here, all these green candles? You see this? So if I was trading back into this area, so if we got a close, let's just say a close below this, I still have that level on, 53,703, 53,700. You see any major stopping points behind here until you get down to this bottom area? No. That's a clear path. Why? Because when you start getting selling into there, it's a vacuum. And so you start getting the selling into there, vacuum. Boom. That just happened to be on the chart. So you verse this. See how this is not a clear. This is a bunch of chops. You see how there's so many stopping points? Okay, you see all these stopping points like here, here, here. All right. Now you start getting above here. You cut through wicks also for clear paths, but you start cutting in here. You have one stopping point being here. So this is a decent thing, but that's why again 53,703 would be a key target. Then you get above that, you don't have another stopping point to this 56,280. So that's not as good a clear path as this one, because you see here, look, even looking behind it, you had this one little hitch, but you really didn't have much. Those are the kind of things you're looking at for clear paths. It eliminates a lot of stopping points, and that's why. Yes, that's part of it, and I'll have all the rules in, when I put it all in the course stuff, but that's an area. There's a few other rules, but if you just stick with that, with the simple, that'll even improve your trading. Okay? I'll give you another example on XPEV. Just move down this level here so you can see. So you see once it started dropping below this level, you see how there's not a lot of stopping points right in here until you get down to where this other line is? Look, you start getting a close in this area, and look how easily it just ran down to this other line. You see that? That's a great example. Now this isn't bad. This is what I call an advanced clear path. Daily, 4-hour daily and weekly, but especially dailies and weeklies, but 4 hours are really good. And if stuff's a high momentum stock, you can even do it on the hourly, but I really like 4-hour daily, and if you find one on a weekly, fantastic. This would be more of an advanced clear path because you have different colored bars in there, and I have a set of rules. I'm actually revising them now, but you see, once we got above here, the gaps also constitute clear path because there's no stopping points in here. So you see how up to at least now. So in XPEV 40, I bumped down this level a bit. Okay, right around 48. So this is starting to get up there. Now with this close above the daily rotation zone into this advanced clear path, I mean, this gives you a really nice target up around 47.88 to 48 bucks. Okay. Now, why this is more advanced is you have alternating colors. I would rather have this be all the same without this green bar. Would rather like red, 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 and there's some other rules I'll teach at some point. But this is you can still work with this. All right, those are the kind of things you're looking for. Like here, this would have been a combination clear path with the only stopping point being here. It didn't quite get there, dropped, but then reversed here. But that's the kind of area again that you're looking at. And again, nothing works 100%, but if you start seeing key trades into this area, that's the kind of stuff you're looking at. Like when, all right, well, you got this double down here. See this little mini double bottom? And this is an advanced clear path. With your stopping areas, you had this prior area right around here. So you could use that as a potential stopping area or right around here. And you see how we got this little pause and then it continued on its way up? It just helps eliminate the more places that there aren't resting orders to lean against. Because remember, when you have chop and large sections of horizontal or pausing areas, you got a lot of resting orders leaning against them. So if you have resting orders leaning against things, it more likely is going to halt the move. And that's what we're looking to avoid. So if you can find things that you're trading into these clear path moves, you're avoiding halting it. I mean, it can still, that's where we use the harmonics to try to figure out, okay, where should we move up stops and everything. But we're trying to get rid of those areas that, hey, there's tons of resting orders there. For example, this is when we talked about the NASDAQ. This is a thing of beauty. First off, you had this run up, okay? You see this run up? When we started getting into this area, remember how few orders there were up here? And look at this cascading selling coming down because there weren't a lot of stopping points until you got down to this area again. And then it just paused. Then you get down to near the end. But now look on the way back up. You're way back up. Look. I mean, you have this minor pausing area, but you don't have a lot of pausing areas. So that's fantastic to the upside. That double bottom. No, this is just two bottoms. This is not a double bottom pattern. Please don't confuse that. So thanks for being here at Dark Screen Sleep, by the way. This is just two bottoms. A double bottom has to reverse a move. It's where a lot of people who don't truly understand technical analysis get it wrong. And double bottoms have a very specific target groups. This is just two bottoms with a lower low and still in a slightly downward sloping channel. So again, yeah, tomorrow we already have the 62.5 harmonic and the harmonic projection. So we're at 16,289 to 16,300. But that's not anything to do with two bottoms. That's just from some harmonics and making a move off a two bottom low. And then we'll look at, didn't I already do? I looked at Baba, didn't I? Yeah, we already looked at Baba. So you'll have to go back. I'm not going to repeat it here. It's just a horribly sloppy double bottom. All right, glad it was helpful to you. Anything else before we wrap it up? Let's see. Thanks, Jake. Yeah, I sort of get these. Just go watch when it'll be posted. Just go watch. It was. You'll scan through it. Thank you. I just don't want to repeat it. Is there anything else before I wrap this up and get ready for Tesla? Anyone? Bueller? All right, with that, we will call it a day. Again, if you can join me on Sunday. Let's switch the cameras for, you want mana. So still join me on Sunday. What is mana? Oh, the crypto mana? Yeah, we'll get to Tesla. Man, if you're talking about the crypto, yeah. What a mess. 306. You break below 306. I'd be watching 266 area. You break below that. Yeah. Let me just see here. This is a. This is. How widely traded is this? I have not looked at it. All right. So the downside 266 and 244 really nice with this bottoming pattern right here. And then you have major cluster $2, about $2 to 205 to the upside. I need it to get above right there, 363. Above 363, see, then this is what I'm talking about. This is to tie in some lessons that you can use in any markets. You see how there's all these stopping points, stopping point, stopping point, stopping point. But look what happens once we get above this level. This is where just pure price action analysis. Look what happens when we get above there. You got this really nice move. You got this is the only minor stopping point. And it lines up just above a harmonic. Okay? So you see how you start getting in this area. You got a nice move, and this could be used to, all right, you get your long up in here versus long down in here. You see, does it stop here? What do I do? And then it can go back. And if you move your stop too quickly, it stops you out. You know, it can chop back and forth in here. But you start getting into here, it can get some momentum. It can build some momentum up until this 466 area. Then it get above there. Then you get momentum up to this 520 area. That's the kind of thing you're looking for. So that ties in a couple of concepts we taught about today. All right. I'm wrapping it up for now. Again, thank you for being here, and I will see everybody on the Tesla live stream in about 15 minutes. Bye for now.